Hey guys, it's Adam Crosley here, CEO of Fairoaks IT. Thanks again for hopping on another one of our bite-sized trainings. I'm particularly excited about this one because anytime I get to hopefully help you guys prevent a breach or a cybersecurity incident, that always it's one of my favorite things to do, if not my most favorite thing to do, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And the world of cybersecurity is very large. You can do a lot of things to protect yourselves. I know if you're a client of ours, you've probably been through a number of our conversations about the fact that security is layers, right? And the more layers you have, the more secure you can be within reason. But today, we're really going to be talking about the number one cause of business compromise or a compromise within a small business. And believe it or not, that's email. Email accounts for about 91% of every breach that happens in the SMB space. That statistic is horrifying. What that means is that folks are interacting with emails they get and are basically allowing the bad guys in through just simply clicking something in their inbox. And that's really scary. Um, when we talk about those layers of security, we can only do so much to defend. If a user lets a bad guy in via an email, they're going to get right by those layers of security. So email compromise, or specifically business email compromise, is what we're going to be focusing on today. And I'm actually extra excited about it because I spent some time this week actually putting together real, what I'll call phishing emails that I've received over the course of the past month or so, and there were a ton, that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share with you real phishing emails that to the untrained eye, or to someone who maybe was trained but just made a mistake and clicked something they shouldn't have, could lead to a very serious business compromise, which is not good. So I've never done this before. I've never had PowerPoint slides in one of these presentations, but I did want to actually talk about just a few statistics here before we dive into some of this cool stuff. And those statistics are again horrifying. The first one, or the first one I wanted to point out, is really the third one down on this list. Is what I already said. 91% of all cyber attacks start with email. Phishing email, spoofing email. Maybe it's a fake invoice. Who knows? It's the number one way into getting attacked for your business. The number one statistic here, though, too, the worse than lying. Back in 2022, that's when the FBI published a report on this. There were a total of $2.7 billion in losses because of this alone. That is crazy. Don't make your business a part of that 2.7 billion. Number two, only 76% of businesses, or sorry, 76% of businesses reported a business email compromise last year. That's just ridiculous. That means 3 to 4 businesses reported they had a business email compromise. So you can imagine, what about all the businesses that didn't report it? Maybe they were too afraid. So it's really even more than that. The last one here, the average incident cost in the SMB space for a business email compromise is around $120,000. So you tell me, a little education, a little protection. Would you rather do that and maybe spend 5 minutes every few months taking a little class, or having your employees take a class on this stuff, or listening to me for that matter? Or do you want to just go write a check for $120,000? Not to mention, lost goodwill and faith because your clients see a business email compromise happen. Maybe your business goes down for a while, lost revenue, all those things. So some crazy stats. I can't stress enough how much we need to pay attention to this. It's crazy. And it's not just spam. It's trained con artists, trained professional fishers that are out there trying to screw you guys over, screw your business over, get in there, get your money in some fashion, and really hurt you guys. That's what this is. These are literal organized crime rings that aim to destroy your business, destroy your livelihood, and take money from you in some way or another. Don't forget, they're personalized. These guys have teams of people sometimes, and they're doing things called social engineering. They're out there on LinkedIn. They know all the titles of everybody who works for your company. Think of all the stuff that's out there in the internet. You Google your name, all the information that pops up, your spouse's name, your brother's name, your kids' names, your phone numbers. They know everything about you, and it's scary. So be careful. Someone that you think emails you or texts you, for example, make sure it's them, right? And lastly here, just this isn't only an IT thing. It's not a nerdy cybersecurity, people with hoods on in a dark room thing. It's a business continuity thing. Think of a small business owner out there. Maybe they've only got less than 10 employees, less than 50 employees. At the end of the day, they get hit. One of their employees gets compromised, and then that person then gains access to the entire business system. How long are you going to be down while you repair, right? It could be a month. You could destroy your business. So keep those things in mind. Again, sorry to drone on with a little PowerPoint here and some bullet points, but it's just very important to cover. So I'm going to stop there for now. And what I want to do is bring you to some of those examples I mentioned. I'm just going to dive right into these phishing examples, and then I'm going to talk about some other things too. So I want to reiterate, this is a little folder I made in my literally my Outlook. This is my Outlook you're looking at, of, I don't know, 10, 20 emails in here, literal, legitimate business email compromise attempts on me that we received. Now, what I will say, I want you guys to know, I actually had to go dig these out of our email security system and insert them here into this folder. Otherwise, I literally did not receive these in my inbox because of the security we have behind our email system. So, if you're not sure about that, do I have the security in place to be able to block these things? You can shoot me an email, ask me. We'll make sure you do. But I do want to point that out, is that I had to go try hard to get these emails, pull them out of our email security system and put them here, all for the sake of education, for helping you guys out. I'm just going to blast through some of these because I think they're very interesting in the interest of time here. Just going to start going through this. I'm going to open the first one here. You'll notice it's some sort of document or disclosure. They're usually going to try to make it seem like it's something that you'd be interested in. Oh, what is this disclosure document? Authenticate yourself to look at them. Very interesting, right? Well, if I'm just going through my day, okay, and I see this, I might think, oh, maybe this is a client. Maybe this is my attorney reaching out to me. I'm just not going to think. I'm not going to do anything, a verification. I might just click this link, all right? When I click this link, it's going to bring me somewhere to make me probably download a file with a malicious payload in it, or maybe log in to a certain website, all right, and steal my credentials. What I want to start pointing out here before I click on one of these links and show you actually what happens is start to look for the warning signs, all right? Number one, who's it from? Are you expecting the email, okay? Let's pretend, for example, that this is from a company called eFile, okay? Well, is the domain actually eFile? In this case, no, it's some crehana.com. Doesn't line up, kind of sketchy, okay? I wasn't expecting this, number two. So, don't let curiosity kill the cat here. Don't go and click on things maybe that you weren't expecting. If you think you know who it's from, pick up your cell phone and call them at a number you know is theirs, right? For example, don't go clicking on things that you don't know. The other thing here, and a lot of people don't have this set up. If you're a client of ours, you most likely have this set up. It's warning banners. It's a big yellow banner up there that says, hey, this came from outside your organization. Be a little careful. Don't click links, attachments, etc., unless you know it is safe, okay? So be careful there. Some other things, visually, what's going on with this text? It's cut off halfway down. It's weird looking. It's red. It's bold. They're trying to call your attention to it. So kind of weird, right? My name. The A is not capitalized in my name. This may seem like silly stuff, but wouldn't a professional company probably, make sure they've got punctuation and capitalization correct in somebody's name? Probably, okay? Secondly, they've spelled our company name incorrectly. There's no space in between Fairoaks and IT. The IT isn't capitalized. Kind of weird, okay? The other thing, a lot of business email, who uses dear nowadays? I'm not writing I'm not on the Titanic writing some letter to my, my loved ones back home, dear beloved. It's very weird, right? Usually people just say hi or things like that, okay? So be careful. If you say dear in your emails, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you, but again, just think of those things here. Other thing is, it wants you to authenticate to look at the document. Anytime something wants you to authenticate, meaning put your password in to look at a document, think twice, because it's most likely 95% of the time a scam and it's phishing. So be careful. Lastly, in this email, there's another URL down here called my.greenstreet.com. That's out of left field. What is that from? Nothing up here says Green Street. So what is that about? Be careful. The other thing, it says UK. Do you do business in the UK? Maybe not. Maybe you do. If you don't, be careful with it. Okay. So again, real life phishing email. Be careful. Another thing that gets people, interest of time here, I'm going to skip through a few of these, but another thing that gets people is payroll information. Your employees, if they get an email that says something like Fairoaks or your company payroll, they're going to click on it because they want to know what everybody makes. Okay. It's, again, curiosity kills the cat. So think about this. One of your folks, they click this, they see this attachment. They're going to open this attachment hoping to see what everybody in the company makes. Maybe they're going to find out what you make. Wrong. It's fake. Don't do it. First of all, nobody is going to, accidentally, hopefully, or intentionally do that in your company. Number two, keep an eye out for attachments in general, especially any attachment that has .html at the end of it. Most good email filters, again, I had to release this to get this to show you, will block an email with HTML. HTML is code that can execute on your computer, so be very careful. In this case, this one's a total phishing attempt. Again, the URL is different, mahle.com. Nothing to do with Fairoaks, okay? Be very careful. So that's just a couple of them there. Other than that, HR is very, very interesting to people. In this case, it's a handbook. Oh, should I look at this? No, look at all the gobbledygook up here. Stop, think, be careful with all this stuff, all right? Very, very careful. Microsoft, another one. This one so happens to be a meeting invitation that made through as phishing. Again, weird email address. Be careful. What is that? Just don't, if you don't know what it is, don't act on it, all right? Another thing is antivirus. This one happens to be from McAfee, right? It's really not, okay? Be careful out there. McAfee's the #1 spoofed antivirus email out there. Bottom line, though, is if you don't know who it's from, you don't recognize it, stop. If you're a client of ours, call us. Hey, is this legitimate? We don't use McAfee. McAfee's a personal product. We don't use that. Maybe you know that, maybe you don't. Give us a ring, though, make sure. So those are some examples of, again, these are real emails. I didn't make these up that you could get. So be careful there. Some other things I want to show you. For example, let's say you clicked on one of those links to reset your Microsoft password, okay? You're going to come to a screen that looks very similar to a Microsoft login. Oh, well, this makes sense. I need to reset my password. Let me put my credentials in. Or that employee that thinks they're going to access the payroll file. They see the same thing. Oh, let me log in so I can see the payroll file. Absolutely wrong. This is not a Microsoft website. It looks like one, but it's not. Check the URL. This doesn't say Microsoft. It doesn't say MS dot or anything like that. Be careful. This is not legitimate. Never, ever, ever put your credentials in just to go see what a file is. Again, verify that you know what it is. The list goes on and on. Let's see, HR portal, that document that maybe you thought you were going to get access to that somebody in HR sent you. These people know your company. They're going to put your company name, HR portal, try to log in. They're going to get your password. By the way, when you click log in on these, 99% of the time, it is not going to work. Let's make up an email address here. It's going to come and bring you to maybe a landing page or something like that. In this case, this is a simulation. So this case, actually, this is a simulation we manage. It actually stopped it, etc. But keep in mind, you're not going to be able to actually log into these things if they're fake. That's another red flag. If you try to log in and it just goes nowhere, you probably just got scammed. If you're a client of ours, call us right away. Hey, I think I just got scammed. We will have to shut your email down. Here's a very convincing Chase Bank login. Everything looks legitimate. Let me log in. I got an email saying my credit card was compromised. Log in to check, see what's going on. No, don't. This isn't Chase. Again, check the URL. Hover over the URLs on the bottom of the page. They don't say Chase Bank. Be very careful of that, okay? Next here, I want to show you some other ones, some other interesting ones that can get by. For example, a change in policy for an IT department. This is a system we use that sends out fake phishing emails, by the way. And this is an example of that. So be careful with that as well. At the end of the day, guys, all of this is so important for you to keep track of, but it's not just you guys, it's all your employees as well. Again, you've got a 20-person company. Think about the 19 other people. Think about the person that maybe didn't grow up using a computer, that doesn't understand what to look out for here, or even just yourselves. If you think you know everything there is to know about what to watch out for, what if you're busy, you haven't had your coffee yet, you click on something you think is legitimate and it's not? My point is to stop, take a deep breath, and be careful with these things. One last thing I want to point out is the protection side of this. I want to show you a couple examples of what happens if you have proper protection in place if you click one of these links. If you don't have these protections in place, you're going to get through to these bad links. If you do, you're going to see things like this. This website is classified as malicious. Don't go there. That URL is very weird, okay? if you're not even going to let you do it. Okay. So if you see something like this, maybe call us. Hey, I just got this weird email. What's going on? Second one, maybe it's blocked by your DNS filter. This is a website filter we have for our clients. It knows it's malicious. By the way, these two links are actually me clicking on a couple of those examples I showed you in here just to show you guys that it's a multi-layered approach. So educate based on what I just showed you in the emails so you know. And then number two, get the protection to, so just in case, if you do click something in an email, hopefully it gets blocked. Nothing is infallible, nothing's 100%, but really, again, reminder, 91% of compromise for a small business happens because of email compromise. So be very careful with that. The last thing here I just want to go over, how can you defend here? Well, multi-factor authentication is very important. Even if I gave my password to a bad actor, if I don't approve the multi-factor request on my phone, they're not getting in. So that's number one. Get that done. Email filtering, like I said, all those examples I showed you, none of them actually made it through. I had to go release them. But get a good email filter. Again, if you're one of our clients, let's talk about it. Make sure you've got the best of the best right now that we can offer. Most likely you do. Next is threat detection. That's what I showed you here. Hey, this looks bad. This is a threat. It's going to block you. It's going to make it so you can't go access it. All right. Staff training. This is the number one way to prevent business email compromise from happening to begin with. Train your staff. At Fairoaks, we offer what we call security awareness training. That's this platform that I kind of showed you here. Not only does it offer classes, but it also sends fake phishing emails out to test your staff to see how they're going to react. This is a whole list of fake phishing emails we could send out for you guys to, see how your staff react to them. Okay. But keep that in mind too. Train your staff. Password hygiene is important. Don't reuse the same password everywhere. Maybe consider getting dark web monitoring. And then the biggest way for these bad guys, the last thing here, the biggest way for these bad guys to get money from you is by inserting themselves into an AP conversation, right? Whether it's at a vendor, a customer, or in your own organization. And they basically hijack the conversation and provide false routing information. Hey, maybe it's a supplier to you, right? And you get an email from them that looks like it's from them, and they say, hey, we just updated our ACH info for payment, so please use this going forward. Next step, somebody in your AP department updates that in the payment system, and then they're cutting a $300,000 check to a bad actor, maybe out of Russia, China, etc. So be careful. It all starts with email, all the education, all these things I talked about. This is the first time I've gone over by, I think I'm over by 2 minutes now, but this is important stuff. So a lot of cool stuff here, a lot to keep your eye out for. The bottom line is be careful, keep your head in a swivel when it comes to this email stuff. Don't go clicking things, ad hoc in emails. Really think it through and really understand what you're about to get yourself into when you open up an email, because it may not be from who you think it's from. So that's going to wrap up today's bite-sized training. Thanks for listening to me for, let's see, 18 minutes in this case. Appreciate you guys sticking around for a couple more minutes. Hopefully it was informative. Hopefully it was interesting. As usual, any questions, please reach out to me, and I'll hope be able to answer them. So again, I'm Adam, CEO of Fairoaks IT. You guys have a great day.